Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Thanks for tuning in again. Today I want to talk about the James River, give you my recap, give you a couple of fish catches, kind of tell you what happened, what went wrong. I'm really disappointed, guys. It was a tournament that I feel like I should have done well in, just based on the way it sets up and my fishing style. And it just was a long week and a half. I was at the Major League Fishing high school camp before I got to the James River, and then I ended up, being at the James River and having some really bad storms, which ended up soaking the entire boat. And I think I've had a lot of electrical issues potentially because of that. I've had some issues where I lost the first day of practice because the motor wouldn't start. It kept blowing fuses. And, we went through everything, got it to the point we thought it was good. And then I drove 40 minutes back to the ramp to launch it in the afternoon, and the fuse was blown again. And so I don't know that we fixed it, but I have not blown a fuse since then. So, the day after we got all that rain, I blew 4 fuses first thing in the morning and afternoon, and have now fished multiple days. So 3 full days, including running well over 100 miles a day each day of the tournament, and have not had any issues. So I'm not sure what's going on there. I'm not sure if it was just some water that has dried out since then. But it's got me a little concerned. I've had some other little glitches that have happened that I know are from the water. Like right now, my trolling motor's having some issues, which I made it through the tournament fine, but having some issues with electrical issues on the trolling motor. I had some water get into one of my graphs, so one of the micro SD card readers is not working. Just stupid stuff like that, all based on water. Really kind of disappointing, very frustrating for all of you that have boats. You know that boats are nothing but a hole in the pocket, and they just continuously seem to have issues. And I can't necessarily say it's the boat's fault because we got 3 inches of rain in like an hour and a half, so everything was just soaked. It was just a pain in the butt. So moving to the tournament, I lost 1 day of practice. The day 2 of practice was good, though. I had a whole bunch of bites. I can't say the size was huge, but I thought there was potential to catch, a decent quality bag. And my roommate, Chris Groh, who was fishing pretty much the same area, hit the window right and put 20 pounds in the boat right at low tide in about an hour. I mean, I had talked to him at 11 o'clock. I ran into him, and he had 4 fish for like 6 pounds. And then in the next hour and a half, he culled everything out and had 20 pounds. So that's how it can happen there. I just wasn't in the right place at the right time, and it cost me, and in the case of these fish catches here, I've got several that I'll show you from day 1. Day 2, I don't have much. The camera kept shutting off on me. I got frustrated. I finally just stopped. And a lot of the footage also from day 1, I had a camera guy in my boat, and the footage just isn't good because the camera guy keeps interrupting it, which is fine. I mean, I got plenty of good fish catches I can show you here. But everything I caught this week was either on a frog, I was throwing a Spro bronze-eye frog, or on a Berkeley pit boss where I was pitching. I did catch one on a War Eagle spinnerbait as well. But for me, if it was something too thick for the frog, I'd throw the Berkeley pit boss. This was just on the Abu Garcia ALF. It's an 8.0 to 1 gear ratio reel, and I had this on 50-pound Durabraid braided line, and then that was a 3/4 ounce tungsten weight. And then from a frog standpoint, and for the gear, this is an FP 885 rod, MHX blank. And then for the frog gear, you can see that Spro is all beaten up at this point. But I was just throwing the Spro bronze-eye frog again, same reel, the Abu Garcia ALF 8.0 to 1, and this was a MHX rod that I built as well. It's the MB 874, so it's a 7.3 medium heavy fast action rod. Really good for frogging, especially frogging stuff that's a little bit more sparse like that. There was a lot of pads that were kind of spread out, and you could walk a frog really well through it. So that really worked well, and I was throwing that on 65-pound Durabraid as well. But that was pretty much it. I didn't have many rods on the deck. I think in hindsight, talking with a lot of guys, there were guys that were slowing down, throwing their wacky rigs, shaky head type stuff. And I think they were generating some better bites. But having said that, when I watched the final day of the tournament, the top 10 guys, for the most part, were doing the same thing, throwing topwaters, throwing frogs, pitching, which is what I was doing. So I can't, it's always nice to walk away from a tournament and be like, this is where I screwed up. I don't know where I screwed up. I was in, I was up in the Chickahominy, up in the region where the majority of the guys that did well were. I caught a bunch of fish, especially that first day. I just never got a real big bite. The biggest fish I had was maybe 3 pounds, probably, a little better than 2 3/4. And it just never happened. Other guys in the same area were generating a 5 to 8 pound bite, and then they were filling their limit out with fish like I had. So it's frustrating because I don't know that I could have done anything different. I know a lot of it is a timing deal. That low tide window is really your best opportunity at doing well. And I caught most of my best fish on day 1 and day 2 were during that window. I just never got a really big bite. So it is what it is. It's really unfortunate because the finish, I ended up 109th, which is terrible. The worst finish I've had all year. And that, I think, has put me out of range for the championship. It bumped me down to like 80th in points, and I'm 60 some points out of 50th, and they take the top 50. So it's going to be, I think it's mathematically it's possible. Realistically though, I think I would need to win the tournament and have like everyone in the top 50 finish in the bottom 50, which is not going to happen. So last year I went into the last tournament of the year sitting right at 50th, and I took second, and I jumped up 20 places to 30th. So if I did the same thing in this event, I think I would move up from like 80th to 60th and just miss the championship. So it's really frustrating because that's a place that I wanted to go. In my last 8 years of fishing, I haven't been worse than 41st in points and qualified for the championship. So this year, well, it's not over yet. Let's end it on a high note. We're going to Lake Champlain for that one, and I think I could win that tournament. So we're gonna leave it at that. But the James River is one that, man, I think I want to go back there and have another shot at it because I think it does set up well for me. Just really frustrated, guys. So thanks for watching. I appreciate all of the support, all of the kind words and the well wishes while I was going through some boat troubles. And we'll move on to the next one. That's all you can do in the sport. Everyone has a bad tournament here and there. When you have a bad tournament, you can sit and dwell, or you can move on and fish again. And the best way to get out of a slump is to fish again. I truly believe that. So that's what we're going to do. Thanks for watching, guys. Stay tuned. We'll have another video coming out tomorrow for you.